Hello everyone, GDRPG here, and I'm here not working on my classes and RPG video to talk about one of my favorite ways to consume media. It's a relatively new way to get an interesting story, a funny joke, or even something nice to look at. It's even newer than video games. I'm talking specifically about webcomics. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole history of webcomics. I just want to talk about some of the things that I've read and give them a critique. There are literally millions of webcomics out there, and not all of them are as well known as they should be in my opinion. Also, I think someone should take a critical look at webcomics in order to help raise awareness about the medium. It's more than just a subset of the comic genre in my opinion. There's so many things you can do with them that... I'm getting off track already. Let's just get down to what I'm going to review. A Dance with Death. Written and illustrated by Crystal Yates. A Dance with Death is not Yates' first webcomic. In fact, she's an accomplished singer-songwriter. Wait, no, that's a different Crystal Yates. Never mind. The creator of A Dance with Death, Crystal Yates, has done other work. In addition to digital illustration and character design, she has also written and illustrated Earthsong, which ran for over 10 years before she ended it and started A Dance with Death. That's another webcomic I would like to tackle another time if I get the chance, but for now, let's focus on what's in front of us. A Dance with Death is a short story told in less than 40 pages online, though there is a print version available with extra content. It follows Death, the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, and Dapper Robot Skeleton, going to a party and waiting for someone to dance with. Read along as he interacts with his three brothers, Famine, War, and Pestilence, and the posse that follows each of them. Honestly, story-wise, there's not much to talk about. Death goes to a party that represents the end of the world and interacts with his brothers, and aspects of emotion personified. The author compares it to a fable, and it certainly feels the shortest one. Which is a shame, as Yates writes very interesting characters who interact well with each other, and I would have loved to see more of them interact. The story is kept short and bittersweet, and leaves you with plenty of questions on what exactly happened to the end of the world, which is on purpose. After all, the people here aren't actually humans, they just look like them. Speaking of the characters, let me just gush over the four horsemen. They look absolutely fantastic. They seem to be based on some of her original drawings, the steampunk apocalypse. Of course, due to the fact that the setting is modern-day-ish, they have been updated to fit better within the story. Each of them stand out, and it is easy to immediately recognize them at first glance. Lots of care went into their design, as well as the design of the emotions, though they suffer a bit in the execution. I wish the artist varied the emotions more than she did. Yates does an excellent job of diversifying them if they were people, but the four horsemen get so much more freedom in how they are shown. Only Famine's design looks like it could have been truly human. The others, especially Death, all give off a fantastically supernatural vibe, and it's a shame to not see that applied to the rest of the cast, like Anger and Pain. They're all still striking in their own right, but I feel like they could have been even better. And now on to the art. It's mostly monochrome, with bursts of color that are there to help emphasize the characters and setting. For example, Greed's bow tie and belt are green. Pain's hair tie and necklace are red. Cruelty has yellow teeth? I don't know. The style seems great in its idea, but it starts to fall apart upon closer inspection. For example, the outside world is given a heavy red saturation that colors the whole page. Until it doesn't. The horsemen's thrones seem to glow colors, except for Famine's throne, and half the time Death's throne has no color. The glow on characters is more consistent, but even then they seem to grow and shrink for whatever reason. I honestly find it somewhat distracting, as it pulls me away from reading the dialogue. It does have the benefit of pulling your eyes to the character designs and lets you notice the little details you might otherwise miss. It also gives each character a little bit of mysticism, but it isn't enough of a benefit to outweigh my annoyances with the design. I would have much rather had the colors be more concrete and stayed within the boundaries. I feel that would have given the characters that special air without being too distracting. Finally, I'm going to talk about the design and layout really quick. A Dance with Death uses the most literal term of a webcomic. It follows the rules of comics to a T, and it's on the web. It follows traditional comic style with its panel placement and can easily fit in a regular book. In fact, you can buy the comic for $10 on the Yates store page, which I'll link in the description below with all the other links. I'll say it does its job, no more, no less. And that's all for today. Honestly, the comic is a quick read, so even if you don't enjoy it, it won't take up much of your time. I say check it out. Despite my complaints, I still thoroughly enjoyed reading A Dance with Death, enough so that I didn't mind reading through it multiple times. A very poignant short story that does what it wants to do, with no unnecessary baggage that tends to follow a lot of webcomics out there. Seriously, check it out and then comment below on what you thought. I'd love to hear other people's opinions on not only the comic, but this video. I enjoyed making this, so hopefully I'll be able to follow up with more of these. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you next time.